Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly O'Horo, and this is Adaptable Behavior Explained. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. For those of you who have been avid watchers, I so appreciate your dedication and time spent with us over this first season of Adaptable Behavior Explained. I wanted to talk a little bit about my reflections and the growth that I've had from this first season, and just revisit some of the purposes for doing this show, and leave you all with the invitation to share with me things that you gained from watching any of the shows that you watched, and or offer feedback for thoughts about season 2, as well as topics or suggestions that you think might be beneficial to have as part of our library. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why I did this show in the first place. I really wanted to create a library for people to be able to refer to during some of the different phases, stages, and difficulties of their lives. And so, although the shows don't necessarily pertain to every person, depending on what you've gone through, there's probably something for you at some point of your life. And so please feel free to go back and look through the episodes and, pick through and watch some of the things that you might benefit from, and then try to keep this resource in mind for something that you may need to experience. So, obviously I'm a trauma specialist. I'm an EMDR trauma specialist, and I've been a therapist for over 13 years now. And I was a teacher before that, which was part of what made me bridge together the history of having been a teacher and presenting with the experiences that I've gleaned from being a trauma therapist for the last several years, and wanting to bring the audience information that was factual, that was beneficial, and that could hopefully give people some insights as to how to deal with the things that they struggle with, and how we work, and things like trauma and healing, parenting, different phases of parenting, from becoming a new mother to parenting difficult teens, going through life changes and transitions such as divorce or caring for aging parents, how we work as far as the emotions, and a couple of my favorite episodes, the reflections from the Inside Out movies. I tried to bring to you information on how to communicate better, more effectively, codependency, boundaries, EMDR therapy, ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, and so much more. And so my hope is that there's something that can help you with a phase of your life, or maybe even a resource that you can share with someone that you know or love. And so I wanted to just dig in a little bit on the reflections that I made throughout this process. Although I had presented many, many times, and as a teacher, you pretty much are presenting every day, all day, thinking about something that had such a broad audience. We're up to about 36,000 subscribers now. And so we were able to reach a lot of people. And that's a lot of vulnerability. That's a lot of exposure. And so one of the first things that I really thought about was just the embracing of imperfection. I can remember when I would watch some of the first shows, and I would see that my hair was flipped up in a section, or my collar wasn't straight, and it's all I could focus on. It was just like, oh my gosh, how come someone didn't tell me that my hair is sticking up? And as I think about just the whole purpose of my values being authenticity and compassion, I wanted to really think about, well, my hair doesn't always look perfect, and I don't always have everything right at the tip of my tongue. And so embracing the imperfection of the human condition has really been part of this process for me. And I don't now have the same standard for the show that I used to. I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't think that I always have to have the exact thing and say the exact right thing. I'm coming from my perspective. I'm coming from the experience that I bring based on my, many years in this profession and working with countless individuals on their healing journeys. And so I have a lot of anecdotal wisdom, and I think that that's valuable. Of course, it's not going to match the perspective that everybody else has. So one of the things that I really have fallen into in a more genuine way is embracing the imperfection of the show in general. And in so doing, I realized I'm not going to be able to make everybody happy. And so tempering the audience expectations, that one show, while it might really resonate, I might say something in another show that really, really makes someone upset or makes them unhappy or makes them not like what it was that I said. And interestingly, some of the shorts were edited on YouTube, and they're out of context from the whole show. And so interestingly, more people had things to say around something that was perceived as controversial. But if you listen to the whole show in context, I don't really say a whole lot that's too controversial, quite frankly. But it was interesting to kind of see that and let go of the experience that I had where, oh gosh, someone was pissed, or someone had something mean to say, or the many trolls along the way through the social media comments, and really trying to determine, what do I want to do with that? Do I want to hide them? Do I want to, remind people that this is an audience where I expect respect and they won't be allowed, and block them? Do I tamper that, even though free speech is really, part of what I support? And so all of those things were really interesting. And what I just decided was, on anything that was going to bring up a lot on, that might be perceived as controversial, or people were going to be hateful or negative, I was just going to remove all comments and just not allow for my platform to be a place of spreading hate and vitriol. So I thought that was an interesting evolution of how I was going to handle those types of things. And in this process of accepting my imperfection and then the show's imperfection and tempering the audience expectations, it's been interesting because I've learned to trust myself better. I've gained more confidence in my presentation skills. I've grown to trust my abilities, and my shows are much less scripted. I used to spend, at least 2 hours per show really prepping, and now I can prepare for about a half an hour per show, maybe 40 minutes, depending on the content, making sure that I have research to back what I'm saying. But I definitely am not anywhere near as concerned about every single piece being just right. And it's nice to have a little bit more freedom in preparing and writing my shows. I noticed that even my presentation style has relaxed. I had this very nervous tick at the beginning, and I didn't know I ever did that, where I would lick my lips kind of nervously. And it was about this habit. And I was so embarrassed when I first started watching my shows. And as I've seen further shows after, since I've been filming, I very rarely do that. And so I encourage you, if you're going to get in the arena with something, to just see it through. And so I've been able to hang in there for about 1.5 years now, for season 1. And so I've decided to give myself permission to take a break and kind of revamp and some things like that about how I want to make sure I deliver continued quality content. Interestingly, in my own personal journey, I think one of the main contributors in my more relaxed stance was after we went through the ketamine-assisted psychotherapy training with our team. And I think I shared in that episode specifically that our cohort opted to go through the full protocol. And that said, we were able to have 6 experiences with ketamine assisted psychotherapy. And after that experience, I noticed that the anxiety related to getting it right and, being more sweaty and being more nervous and things like that really, really dissipated. And so in my own personal work, I saw a tremendous change in my ability to show up just more calm, more flexible, more relaxed. And I think that as a result, my show became more authentic, and I was able to become a bit more relaxed and more playful with the experience. And so that has been a fun evolution for me to get to see in myself and in the outcome of the quality of the production. I definitely have enjoyed the shows where I've had guests coming on a lot more. I love to learn, and I just really reflected on the value of having guests and having so many amazing people that I've gotten to get to know better. I had Chris Desmarchais on, the owner of Rise, Jennifer Montjoy, who is, we call her the badass medicine woman who took us through the ketamine-assisted psychotherapy training. My friend Jamie Castillo, getting to talk to her on a more personal level, and her book about anxiety and what happened to make you anxious was really special. And, the continuation of her being here for shows on motherhood and getting to know her better in that more personal way. And her candor just was really fun for me to get to experience. I've always had a tremendous respect for Diane Sullivan, who, came on the show as an attorney and shared with us so many wonderful tips on things we should know about divorce and the law about divorce and how to parent, regarding divorce and the things that she's seen from her lens. And I just really very much appreciated the wisdom that she brought to the show. Getting to know Megan Stanbury, who is a mother of adopted children, and her candor and vulnerability and transparency on being a mom of children that come through by way of transracial adoption, and just the authenticity that she was willing to share in that setting was just so beautiful and lovely. And Satyam Patel, who's my singing teacher, he's a true healer, and to get to have more time to prepare for the show and spend with him and glean even more wonderful little nuggets from him about the way our body holds energy and our abilities to heal. And I just really appreciated getting to spend time with some of these guests. And it was also really awesome for me to get to invite different counselors onto the show for our Counselor Cafe segment. I work with just the most beautiful, brilliant, wonderful, great people. And it's a nerve-wracking experience to go on a podcast with someone and realize that there's no control over the outcome and the editing and everything like that. And so for so many of my therapists that were willing to come on the show and be vulnerable and authentic and share their, things about which they have passion and an experience, was just a really lovely experience for me to get to share that time with them on a more personal level. I want to talk a little bit about some of my favorite moments. I especially loved the new motherhood shows with Ratna Ganala and Jamie Castillo. And I say that because it's such a vulnerable topic, and those were some of the earlier shows where I had guests. And it really helped me feel comfortable setting the stage for vulnerability, authenticity, and just true transparency. I mean, we talked about things that were so raw and so real. And I hope that set the stage for my future stance on how to just be okay being first human, and second, a therapist, and third, a podcast producer or a host of a podcast. And so I hope that is what happened. It felt really raw and also real, and that feels congruent for me. I loved when Satyam came on and did the live demonstration with me using my voice and being able to model for you guys some of the things, and how cool it was to connect with some of my own unresolved emotions related to some personal experience because of the activity that he did with me. It was just so cool. I really appreciated Diane coming on and all the insights that she had about divorce and parenting and just the richness of that information. And that episode has been really helpful. I've run into people at, stores and places like that who are talking about their current experiences. And I was able to just grab that show and share it directly to them, so that they could have more support. And I didn't expect to get as much out of that topic as I did, and how much people are really struggling with that, and what a painful time that is for people, and to have such a great resource accessible for them because of that. I have to say that one of my favorite shows was with Christina Egarola, who is one of our therapists. She's the single mom of 4, and she was featured on the show's Welcome to the Shit Show, The Truth About Being a Single Parent. And that especially was heartwarming for me because when I met her, she was so zipped up, so perfectionistic, so reluctant to be that vulnerable and that authentic, and just really had learned. She had 14 or 13 years as a Marine in the military. And so she just was really polished. And I told her when I hired her, I said, you'll be a good therapist as you are, but we've got to unzip you and take some of this armor off in order for you to be an excellent therapist. And so part of her growth with us and through our own personal journey has been to really disarm and to get to see her show up in such a vulnerable way. And so honestly, in that show, just warmed my heart like nothing, because it was really emblematic of what we try to do here at Infinite, which is be with each other in this journey of growth. And for her to have been able to show up that raw and honest was really, really fun for me. As far as my own personal values go, thinking about slowing down, that's hard for me. Being in the stillness is something that I've gotten a lot better with. I talk about it on the meditation show. But this has been a big undertaking. And I'm really proud of the product. And I'm also really looking forward to taking a break and slowing down for a little bit of a hiatus and recalibrating. And I want to practice what I preach. And doing that means I'm going to step away for a little bit from the show and take a break and spend time with my family and play pickleball and let my grandkids have sleepovers and really determine, how we want to move forward with the season 2. And I'm really excited about the break. And I've loved doing this, but I'm looking forward to the break. And so we're going to continue to drop shows and segments of shows from some of the episodes that we've done. So there'll be something coming out every single Wednesday still. But as far as creating a whole new library, that's going to be for a season 2. Like I said, I'm really proud of this. We've done a good job. And we've got, like I said, almost 36 subscribers. So I really, I'm looking forward to just taking a moment and exhaling. And I want to take some time to brainstorm and think about how I can improve, make some adjustments in how I plan, meeting with some consultants and researching other shows to determine, what direction we want to take the show, and maybe some stylistic changes. We're going to look at more balance, more creativity, maybe more free flow. So I really invite you to share your ideas on how to maintain some balance, foster some more creativity. And I'm going to look at enjoying the process more as part of an art and a creativity and expression. And so I'm excited for that. And so rest assured, like I said, we're coming back. And so I want to encourage you to catch up on the important shows and the episodes that you might have missed. This gives you a chance to do that. And I really want to thank you for watching. So please take the time to give me feedback if you've got some, and give me your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. And please, if you've liked what I've done, please share what you liked on your social media, and encourage people that to watch shows that might resonate for them. And definitely, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and go back through and make comments or like the shows that you haven't watched, because that engagement's helpful. It gives us more credence on the algorithm and increases our potential watch time and things like that, and our spread through the social media world. So again, I want to thank you so much for your time, and hopefully you gained something by being with us. So until we meet again, don't forget to lead with love. It'll never steer you wrong.